Welcome to the raw and unedited Keepin It Real Podcast. My name is Colin Doyle, and with always is my co-host, Mr. Ryan Espey. How you doing, Ryan? Where are you, Ryan? What's going on, Ryan?
What? Why do you keep saying Ryan?
I don't know.
Okay, Colin. I'll tell you where I am, Colin. Colin, I'm down here in Mexico, Colin.
Good. Nice.
Okay.
Looks nice.
We are here for one more day. So this is not our usual format for the podcast. Right after we recorded the last episode, I came down here, and here we are. We're coming back tomorrow. So when you're seeing this, I will be mid-flight.
Mid-flight. And there is a 1 hour time difference, and I just woke up. So haven't showered yet. You're getting the raw, unedited Colin right now.
Yeah, well, we can't smell you, but we can imagine it.
That's right. I don't know how to use this program, so I wasn't able to put a beachy background like you, but I'm going to have to assume you're telling me the truth and you're actually sitting in Mexico right now.
You can't do this with a beachy background.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So,
all right, buddy, what were we talking about? We were talking about vacation stories, I think, but before we get into that, we normally touch on some other stuff, but I got nothing because I've been here for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do this thing where I reach out to all my clients I'm working with like weekly. And I got a lot of, what the hell are you talking to me for? You're on vacation. I'll talk to you when you get home. So, I appreciate that. But At the same time, I, still serve my clients when I'm away on vacation. So making sure I'm communicating, and they've all ghosted me, but in a good way.
That's
and
good.
Told me basically, don't worry about it. You're away. Enjoy
Take
your
a little
time.
break.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, no, hey, I haven't missed much here. We've had some warmer weather, but I was just reading this morning that you're going to be coming home to a little bit of a snowstorm when you get back. So
I actually appreciate that, and I'll tell you why. I absolutely hate the period between frozen and completely melted and dry. And there's a very specific reason for it. You can probably guess what it is. Do you want to take a guess?
The freeze thaw and the icy ruts?
No.
And the ugliness?
No. It's just about dogs and backyards. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to deal with that, especially when I am in a house that we recently renovated. The backyard's not finished.
Right.
So it's not so much what the dogs leave out there. It's we removed a deck, and it's just a mud pit underneath it. So between the house and the backyard, the dogs have no choice but to walk through a few meters of mud. And that means that comes into the house. So
and those little bastards track it in.
Yeah. And it's a nightmare. So it'll be frozen up again by the time I get home. And I apologize to my house sitter / dog sitter for having to deal with that.
So how's your vacation been going so far?
It's not bad, man. This resort's nice. It's a little big for my liking. So
where are you, Cancun?
We are south of Playa. So Cancun Airport, the trip down the coast.
Yeah.
But this resort is massive. Like I'm getting 10,000 steps a day in just by walking to where I need to go for things.
Gotcha.
Like it's not without even trying. So it's
pretty sprawling.
Where we set up on the beach, or where we set up in our pool of choice is at the other end of the resort.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
And we're all spread out. So, but it's nice. It's nice. I appreciate that. In the gym, fantastic.
You sent me pictures. It looks pretty impressive, especially for a resort. I've definitely been to some resorts where the the fitness center, you look on the map and you go to find it, and it's like it's an old treadmill that doesn't work.
This one's like a full
one of those trees of dumbbells where it's got a 5, a 10, and a 20 on it. That's their fitness center.
Yeah, a couple of elastic bands.
Yeah.
This is a full-on fitness center, like it's a commercial gym, and it's it's been good. I've been maintaining my training because I've got the Arnold Classic coming up. In
That's right.
3 weeks, I'll be competing.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's exciting. Been watching much of the Olympics?
we have. Would you believe this was one major disappointment for me? The sports bar down here that's 24/7 did not have any of the channels set up to watch Olympic hockey. Nothing.
Sports bar.
Sports bar. Watch soccer. Football is life. So football is life. That's all. There's no Olympic, barely anything on there. So all of us downloaded the CBC app, had to turn off our Wi-Fi and use roaming because otherwise it won't stream in this country. Yeah, but we've been watching it, so it's been nice to see.
We've been watching a lot of it. Oh, go ahead.
Other than the controversy surrounding the curling.
Oh man, I was gonna say I've been watching a lot of the curling. I've been following that, and the TikToks and the memes and all the stuff that's been coming out with that finger pointing. It's just been so hilarious. I watched one last night where it was showing all the figure skaters falling, and it was because this finger kept coming out and double touching their skates. And I love it,
Yeah,
and I love curling, so it's fun to watch.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Why don't we curl?
I don't know, because you're too busy. That must be it.
Okay, fair.
I would do it.
Well, let's make a plan for next winter because I'm down for that.
Okay. So what are we talking about? We're going to get into some vacation stories, some fun ones, some nightmare ones.
Yeah. So I don't know if we actually asked for listener input last week, but I do have a few myself. I'll go back to, for one of them, I'll go back to the very first vacation I ever went on. And I don't mean first vacation ever, but the first vacation I ever went on as an adult where, you don't have your parents there to hold your hand and guide the way. Right. And so it was actually my first wedding. It was my honeymoon. I went with my wife at the time and my brother and his wife. And so we went down to Jamaica, and unfortunately that kind of wrecked a lot of the other vacations for me because Jamaica is a beautiful, beautiful country. And so it's really hard to hit that, to meet that bar after the fact. But anyways, we went to Jamaica. We land at the airport and grab our luggage, and this guy comes up to us and he says, "Oh, you're on my shuttle bus." And okay, so we followed him and we go onto his bus and it's empty, and we go right to the back of the bus and he says, "Just wait here." And so we're sitting there and we don't even think anything of it, right? And he comes back in with this big backpack and he goes right up to my brother because he can smell him from a mile away. And he says, how much ganja do you want? And so whatever, my brother buys some weed, and then the bus driver says, "Okay, well, you're not on my bus, so we'll see you later." And so whatever, it was that easy. We're still sitting in the airport parking lot because that was one of my brother's concerns, is where he was going to find some. And I said, "It's Jamaica, you'll be okay." So anyways, the vacation went well, but the following year we went on vacation again back to Jamaica. We assumed it would be the same thing, and we get to the airport. My brother's sniffing around, can't find anything, and then we get to our resort and he's asking some staff at the resort, can't find anything, and now he's kind of in a panic because this is part of his vacation, right? And so the next day he says to me, can you leave the resort with me and we'll go find some ganja? And I just said, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not comfortable with that. Now this is only my second vacation. I said, I'm not comfortable with that. So he broke me down, convinced me. We left the resort And I said, I am not leaving eyesight of the resort. We can go beyond the gates, but I'm not leaving eyesight. And I said, do not get in any vehicles. He says, no, no, I won't. I won't. And so we go out of the resort. I go this way. He goes this way. And I'm talking like 50 feet from each other. And I'm asking one guy if he knows where we can find any. And I look over and my brother's getting into a van and he's waving me over. He's like, come on, come with this guy. So we get into this van because I didn't want him to go by himself. So we get into this van and this van drives and drives and drives. And now you're seeing the real Jamaica, right? And it's up and down every street. And finally we pull up beside like this concrete factory, which scared the shit out of me because I thought they were just making me a fresh pair of boots in there. And pulls up to this house across the street from this concrete factory. And the driver says, I'll be right back. And so he hopped out of the vehicle and went into this house. This is the first time I felt a little bit at ease because when he hopped out of the vehicle, he left it running with us in it. So I felt, okay, he at least trusts us. You know, if we really wanted to get away, we could. And so we're waiting outside this house for about 10 minutes. And every 30 seconds or so, someone would walk out of this house, look both directions, and then bolt down the street. So it looked really sketchy. Anyways, our driver came back out. He got my brother what he needed and drove us back to the resort, and all was well. But at the time, really scared the hell out of me. And I have never trusted my brother fully to this day, because the number one rule was don't get in any vehicles. And within 30 seconds, he had hopped in a van waving me in. So it was an experience for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Most of my stories take this off so I can hear myself a little bit, involve arm wrestling. I mean, the nightmare ones don't. So, you know, as well as I do, I've had some pretty nasty food poisoning incidents over the years where I missed most of my vacation. But yeah, the one was at a wedding in Mexico in Portage la Prairie.
You got a baby stomach.
Hey man, I have built up a resistance to E. coli over the years, and I can pretty much drink the water down here at this point.
Yeah.
But the one time I was at a steakhouse at an a la carte, I was like, this tastes funny, but maybe it's just some of the stuff, the way they do it down here. So I ate it, and the next day, violently ill in ways that I will not fully describe on here. But you can let your imagination go wild. It's probably better than what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And about day number 4 of this, they finally called the doctor on the resort. And the doctor came in my room. He's like, no. You have the flu, like covering for the resort. You have the flu. So I've never heard of a shot that would cure a flu. But he basically told me to roll over, and he gave me a needle right in the ass. And that brought me within about 10 hours or so, it brought me just up to a level where I could function. So just be able to leave, walk around, and do basic things while not being violently sick in many different ways.
Right.
So as we go through this process, I get through the rest of the vacation and I fly home. And as soon as I am home, and it's a miracle that this didn't happen on the flight, I am right back to full on sick in every way that I was.
Yeah.
If that happened on the plane, good Lord,
boy,
that would have been awful. But I went to the clinic here in Portage, and I went and I talked to a Dr. Rice. Remember Dr. Rice?
Oh yeah.
He says you for sure have food poisoning. He goes, here's some antibiotics. He goes, in 5 days you will have a perfect life, he said. And I started taking these antibiotics, and I felt like shit for 5 days. And on day number 5, it was like a switch went off, and everything was perfect. Everything was normal. I was like, wow, what are the chances What are the chances?
What did you attribute it to? Any one particular food?
Oh, it was definitely the steak at the steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Non-refrigerated.
Non-refrigerated, some sort of roadkill experience. I don't know.
See, and I've had a lot of luck so far in my vacation history with the food. Like I've got garbage guts. I can handle quite a bit of pretty much anything. My wife is always very careful as to what she eats when we're abroad, and I just don't care. I go for it all, and I've been very lucky so far. But I know that
You're,
at some point your luck always runs out, and
you're going to talk shit right up to the point where you just have a
I know,
terrible experience.
yeah,
And this happened to me once in Mexico, once in Toronto. You were there for that one when I ate
hmm
like some kind of weird sandwich from the trade show floor at FCM.
hmm
And I spent a couple of days at FCM being extremely sick. Remember the Italian restaurant that we
I
went to
remember he
when
came
I
out
was
for
just
dinner with,
recovering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan comes out for dinner with all of us, and he's sitting there, and he's very quiet. And then the waitress comes to take our order, and so he orders his food. And as soon as she leaves with the menus, he's just like, "Victoria, can you just get them to put that in a to-go box?" And you just quietly pushed your chair back and walked out of the restaurant.
just, just the that was, I think, the first time I've ever done the Irish exit at a
Yeah.
full table in a restaurant. Just walk out the door.
It's before our drink order even got there.
Yeah. And then the next day, it was just pushing it a little hard. The next day, I was okay, and just a little bit much that day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of drinking, I do have another story that somewhat revolves around that. So,
Oh
oh,
well, let's have it.
we went to Veradero in 2015, and this is when my wife Cheryl and I got married. And so we had probably about 25, 30 different family members there with us. And we, excuse me, this was my first time in Cuba. And we arrived, later afternoon sort of thing, grabbed some dinner. And then you've got a bit of jet lag mixed with, just a long day of travel. You're up since 4 in the morning, and the booze is flowing good. And so we were all drinking, and my uncle was there, and he was my best man in my wedding. And everyone kind of dispersed, went to go to bed. And this resort was it was a sprawling resort full of 3-story buildings. So there was no elevators anywhere. It was all walk-ups. And so he was in the same building as us, and he starts going up the stairs ahead of us, him and my aunt. And the housekeeping staff had just mopped the stairs, and he got about 5 stairs up and hit a water patch, combination of booze and the slippery stairs. He ended up falling backwards and cracking his head open
Oh my
on
gosh.
the tile stairs. And so I went over to help him. My bride to be Cheryl, she is underneath his head trying to hold the wound and stop him from bleeding. She's covered in blood. He's losing consciousness. I'm trying to keep him awake. He ends up throwing up all over me. So I'm covered in vomit. She's covered in
Oh,
blood. Paramedics come. the the paramedics in, so he was probably about 240 pounds, 250 pounds. And the paramedics come, and it's these two guys, and they've got to be about 110 pounds apiece. And they come with the stretcher. We get them onto the stretcher, and these Cuban paramedics cannot lift each end of the stretcher to lock it in place. So every time they lift it high enough and they think it's locked into place, they end up dropping it again. So he's getting the ride of his life.
just
And he ended up getting into the ambulance. My mom and my aunt went with him. And again, we had been drinking all evening. My mom and my aunt went with him to the hospital. The ambulance pulls up to the hospital. My aunt opens the door. She falls out of the ambulance. And so she ended up injuring herself as well. luckily just a flesh wound. But he ended up getting stitched up, a bit of a minor concussion, and he made the wedding. So um,
That's lucky.
it's lucky. And the other thing was that was the hoodie that I was wearing at the time, because that part of Cuba was a little chilly in the evening. But the hoodie I was wearing at the time got covered in vomit. I threw it in the garbage. That was my only sweater for that whole vacation. And at night, the average temperature was about 16 degrees. So you definitely needed a sweater. So I just froze my ass off for the rest of the vacation. But it's a good story. It made for some good pictures from the wedding, because if you look closely, you can see how half his face is bruised.
Oh,
It was a bad fall. But
speaking of Cuba, that's going on right now where people are not being able to go there or get home from there. So they're going to have some stories of their own that maybe they'll laugh at someday.
well, yeah, and yeah, Canadian flights have been canceled to and from Cuba, and there's kind of a
A
recovery mission
fuel
going on.
shortage. Yeah.
Fuel shortage.
Air Canada apparently is flying empty planes down there just to pick people up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because I've been to Cuba probably 6 or 7 times, and it is. I mean, Cuba gets a bad rep as far as the food goes and stuff like that, and I get it. It's kind of bland. It's, you don't go there for the food, you go there for the culture and for the people. And Cuba has the best people I've ever met in my life. I have lifelong friends that I made in Cuba that I still keep in touch with. Um, a few of them have gone dark as of late, though, so I don't know if it's a matter of being able to find internet or whatever the case is. But I wish them well. And
Yeah.
speaking of friends, I do want to throw this one in because it's
Throw it in.
important. It's important to me. It's not a horrible story or anything like that. But my wife and I went to Mexico. Colianne and I went to Mexico in 2019, 2020, to kind of scout out places where you could possibly get married. Actually, it was right before COVID. We were on the last flight out of Mexico before the world shut down. And so we went to this resort. At the time, we were both smokers, and as soon as we got to the resort, we found out that there was 3 designated smoking areas in the entire resort, which is pretty rare for an all-inclusive, because it's pretty much anything goes at most places. But so one of them was just in the loop where all of the shuttle buses pull up. So we checked into our hotel, got our luggage upstairs, and went down to have a cigarette. And so we're having a cigarette by this ashtray, and a shuttle bus pulls up, and a bunch of people get out. And 2 of these people that got out of the bus, they grabbed their luggage, and then they stood there and had a smoke. And they had what we could easily identify as an American accent. I wasn't sure exactly from where, but and so we got chatting with them. They introduced themselves, Christian and April, and we just kind of had a little chat, and that was it, and went on with our vacation. So again, this was day 1 of our vacation, and we ended up running into them a couple times after that, and just giving the wave. And then at one point, we ended up sitting next to them at the pool, and just got chatting all day long, and ended up spending the rest of our vacation with them, and just learned that they were just beautiful, beautiful people, salt of the earth. We had so much in common, and it was actually really difficult to leave that resort when our vacation was over, because we felt that we made lifelong friends in a very, very short period of time. So we've kept in contact with them, and we ended up booking another vacation alongside them. So a couple years ago, we did go on a vacation with just them. They were from Baltimore. We didn't know them outside of that few days we had talked to them in Mexico, and ended up spending an entire week with them, and it was just the greatest week of our lives. So you never know who you meet, who you can meet at one of these resorts, and what kind of lifelong friends you can make. And the old saying, I don't even know if there's a saying, but the smoker circle is always the social circle, and that's where that's where deals get made, that's where things get done, and that's where friendships get made too. So
You're not incorrect on that, Colin.
no, it's true.
I
It's
will.
where
I'll
it
tell
happens.
you the last resort that I went to last year, there was no smoking at all. It was like little, you have to go way away.
Hmm.
So I ended up on the beach, after the sun went down. But here, it's everywhere, and I smoke cigars. And night number one, I met Hunter and Alessia, my two new friends in Mexico, because we were smoking cigars at the bar together. So there you go.
No, it's true. It's so there's something social about it. We don't encourage smoking, obviously, but there is something social about it.
Yeah.
And Christian and April, I just want to say hi because you are lifelong friends, and we hope to plan a vacation with you again someday soon.
Yeah, right on. Colin, someday I'm going to tell you my Moldova story. Someday on this podcast, I will tell my Moldova story.
I have heard this story, but I would
don't
love to hear it
know-
on the podcast one day.
I don't know if the time is right, because I've actually been told that I should never share certain things about this trip or photos from this trip
Mm.
because of high, powerful political people that,
Oh,
there's a lot to it.
maybe I haven't
A
got
lot
the
to
full
it.
version.
But I was told never share that photo. And but it might be time. I think enough time has passed that we can probably do it. But it won't be next week.
Like that photo? Like there's a photo?
It
Ooh,
was a photo of
okay.
There's nothing wrong with the photo at a glance. But if I tell you the story behind it and who's in it, then you'll understand more.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Okay, we'll have to come up with a theme of Ryan's secrets or
Ryan's
something.
arm wrestling.
That's
Real
right.
arm wrestling stories. Yeah.
Awesome. So
All
what's
right,
going
buddy.
on today? Last day of vacation. What are you doing?
Last day, I'm heading to the pool in our spot. It's Groundhog Day. We're doing the same stuff again, but
Yep.
it's
As you do.
everyone's gathering down there. I'm going to actually put on my snorkel and my mask and jump in with the turtles that are just off the shore.
Perfect.
There's a spot down there to do that. I'm going to go do that. Yesterday, the red flags were out, so we did not go near the ocean.
Gotcha.
And of course, as I'm about to do that, I'm looking on TikTok, and all I can see is very short distances away, there's great white sharks next to the shore. I'm like, okay.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that shirt will scare them off because
Maybe.
it's making me want to hang up here. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're so nice to me.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to figure out what we'll talk about next week, and so listeners, keep an eye on social media and see if we need your input for next week
Right on.
when we finally come up with it. We never talked
Yep.
about that beforehand, so I don't want to spitball anything here.
No. Well, just waiting for you to do your line there, Colin.
Well, until next time, Ryan, enjoy your vacation and keep it real.